So who saw this coming?
I did.
Huh? Who said that?
It's me, Triple H.
Well, yeah, Triple H saw it coming. So that was really weird, but look, let's face it, the Bloodline storyline in WWE is one of the best things they've done for ages, and now we basically have a meme come out the other side, which is Roman Reigns will probably be the champion for the next 7,966 days. And as I said before, if WWE did decide to make him also the World Heavyweight Champion, I'd secretly love it because I just want to watch the world burn. If you can believe it though, I think this is about to get better. Why? Here's why. Now, to enjoy what WWE is about to do, we have to have done what we already have done in the past, so using the word better probably isn't the correct terminology, because again, you need the past, you need the present in order to build to the future, but what an amazing future it's gonna be. Because let us go back to the draft. Roman Reigns, Soulless, Akoa, and Paul Heyman were moved as the Bloodline, and because the Usos lost at WrestleMania and they lost their tag team titles, the tribal chief was like, well, I don't really like you anymore, so maybe you should just figure out what show you're gonna be on by yourself. I mean, Roman wasn't even answering the phone at one point to his brothers, so maybe, just maybe, they should have taken a hint here. But they didn't, although actually, well, it kind of sucks to be them, they ended up on SmackDown anyway, so they are still a unit. Now, do not get tricked into thinking this is a minor point that WWE is going to forget about. I mean, they always could. But when you look at what happened at Backlash, and you think about what could happen next, but I think it's all right in front of our eyes. Because even though Jimmy and Jey actually had a successful night down in Puerto Rico, it was Soulless Akoa that essentially did all the work. And also, let's not forget, at one point Solo was looking at Jey and Jey was looking at Solo, and we were not having a good time anymore. In fact, it kind of felt like they now hated each other. Ruh-roh. Now, I'm going to give this a round of applause because I think this is one of the things that Triple H talked about when he said, oh my gosh, I've got the next year planned. And the doubly exciting thing about this is that Vince McMahon is back in the fold, but it doesn't seem like he's done any meddling. Yet. I mean, you never know, but at the moment it's smooth sailing. Anyway, the point is, despite being aligned with the Bloodline for a long old time and doing despicable things like trying to kill Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, somehow the Usos have a bunch of sympathy. I think it's mostly because we can see what the head of the table is doing to them, so we give them a free pass. I mean, he's gaslighting them and he's manipulating them and he's just being a bit of a negative Nancy. And we've all had to deal with these people in our own lives, so when we look at the Usos, it's like, man, if only they could get out of it, I think they'd feel better. It's also why Sami Zayn kept going up to Jey Uso going, leave, you absolute moron, leave, I promise you it will be for the best. And Jey's like, no man, family. Dude needs to get a clue. And of course, when we get into our fantasy booking land, everybody wants it to be Jey Uso, to be the guy to dethrone Roman Reigns. And as awesome as that would be, I just don't think WWE is going to do it, because that's not what WWE does. Although I do think we're going to get the next best thing. Because when you go deep down into this and actually look at the seeds we're planting, I totally believe that very soon, maybe even at a SummerSlam, we are going to get Roman Reigns and Soulless Akoa taking on the Usos. Now, this would be excellent in and of itself, but it also will finally start to move the Bloodline story onwards. Because look, on that Raw before Backlash, when all of a sudden they were running in again and causing disqualifications, it was a bit like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, and they should be doing this, but we have seen it around about 722 times, and it's just getting a little bit dull. It's the Law of Diminishing Returns. I mean, if you see the same thing over and over again, your brain just gets a little bit bored. Like today, should you so fancy, go and have sex for like 7 hours. Everybody loves sex. After about 3, you're gonna be like, I'm done with this, and things are gonna hurt. And none of this has happened by fluke either, because it's exactly why Jey Uso has always been going up to Roman Reigns and being a bit like, hey, my dog, I don't really like what you're doing and maybe we should rethink things. Because I really do think that WWE knew where they did want to go, and given that over the last 20 years they haven't bothered with long-term storytelling at all, well, I think this is a huzzah moment. Let's all do it. 1, 2, 3, huzzah. And it's totally worked as well because ratings and audience gates are through the roof right now, so let's keep it going. And also, you're gonna have to believe that in one of these matches, Jimmy and Jey will actually win. Because imagine the reaction when that finally does happen. It's going to make you feel all lovely wobbly because these henchmen and these poor people that have been abused for so long finally got a little something, make you do the dance of joy. Because really you do want that trinket where it feels like Jimmy and Jey got theirs as opposed to just introducing some brand new belts, which is why Roman Reigns has been the champion for so long. And don't you even think about beating him, ever. If you've even had a dream about him losing, go out there and wash your mouth. There is another part to all of this as well, which you have to imagine that WWE is going to pull the trigger on at some point too, and it comes down to Soulless Akoa, because of course when we do that tag team match, if the Usos do win, he will take the pin, but do you know what that means? Roman Reigns will then start getting mad at him. I don't think Solo would take it. I mean, you're not going to write everybody else's narrative and not his, so I think in 2023 and definitely in 2024, he is slowly going to start climbing that ladder and he may become a main event star. So yeah, the tribal chief can go back to his whole, well, it's not my fault, it's never my fault, how dare you think it's my fault, it's your fault, Soulless Akoa, and it's the Usos' fault. I'm sick of everybody before Solo finally decides, you know what, I've had enough of this, and he takes that damn finger and he spikes Roman right in the face. So this means you could do the Roman Reigns versus Soulless Akoa feud, and I know, Solo should win that one, and he's probably not going to, but if you do treat it right, and if you come out with a good plan, he can still come out the other side feeling like a bigger deal, and ultimately that has to be the #1 goal. And yes, look, I don't usually subscribe to that theory of, oh well, you were in the ring with the main event player, so now you're a main event player. However, on occasion we have seen it, so we're going to have to pull out the big guns here and make it a success. And foreseeably, this could take us through to next year, which would make me feel warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum, because these four have put in so much effort recently, so you want to see them get their due. I also just love it because it means we did stick to the plan. There's been no ripping up scripts or turning up to work and going, hey pal, we're just going to change things today. I can live or die by the week-to-week television, and there's so much of it, I need some kind of a thread. But it also allowed the feud between Owen Zayn and the Usos to actually calm down naturally, and I suppose if you did do all this, there could be something later on that you also go back to. So it is a work of art in many ways, and while we're going to continue this debate about how long Roman Reigns should hold the championship, it's not the worst thing in the world, is it? It has turned him into an absolute megastar, and you always need one of them to prop up each and every generation. Plus, look, he has been doing some pretty superb work. More power to him. I mean, if nothing else, I'm just astonished they have stuck to all of this. Because there was a time in WWE that if you were the world champion for 6 months, people fell on the floor. He may wind up being champion for like 4 years. I mean, probably not, but you just don't know. So yeah, bravo for this entire direction. I really hope WWE has realized, maybe we should keep to these extended narratives because it allows you to buy in. But more importantly, it allows you to have emotion. And that really is what life in wrestling is all about. Now, please do let me know what you think about all of this. Do you think the Usos are going to go babyface? Are they going to become tag team champions? And are they going to dick over Roman Reigns? Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click on the video that will be on the screen right now. And of course, go and read whatculture.com and follow us on social media. SimonMeta316. What Culture WWE. My name is Simon for What Culture. Thank you for joining me as always. And there's one last thing we do have to talk about. Cody also has to finish the story. That's right. Can't make a wrestling video in 2023 without saying that catchphrase. In fact, you should wake up every day and go, Cody, finish the story. And if you're not, I don't believe you're a real wrestling fan. That's right. I've said it. I'm leaving now. Goodbye.